What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let me start this video with Florian Poirson, a guy who we haven't talked about in a while. So this is kind of a news, and this was buzzing all over the social media bodybuilding pages last night. And I'm sure most of you guys have heard by now. But for those of you who haven't, you guys will be thrilled to hear this one. So after spending more than 2 years in classic physique category and placing as high as second in one of the shows, Florian announces that he's switching back to men's open bodybuilding, a division in which he made his pro debut back in 2019. So throughout his run in classic physique, all the bodybuilding fans kept telling him that he doesn't belong in a smaller category. He is just way too big in classic physique. And he is losing too much muscle, too much fullness, too much pop to his physique by being in classic physique. And one of the reasons for that was his weight cap. And to this day, the physique that he showed at his pro debut that happened back at Protocol Pro in 2019, where he placed fourth, that was the best look of his entire career. And keep in mind, he won his pro card just one day before Protocol Pro. And he decided to jump into that show just one day afterwards with the pros. And that was a very controversial decision, by the way. Mohamed Shaban was the one who won that show, and Ian Valier came in third. And so many people thought that Florian placing fourth at that show, that was such a robbery, because he's the one who should have won that show. His frame was so much better than everyone on that stage that day. So when he was asked why did he switch to classic physique, when he had all the tools to be one of the best in the men's open bodybuilding, he always stated that he was losing motivation. He was losing the love for the sport of bodybuilding because he had to consume so much food. And not just in the chase of more size, just to maintain his size. And he knew he had to eat even more if he wanted to get bigger. But on the other hand, in classic physique, he was very much constricted with the amount of food he had to intake, not just for the prep phase, but also in the off-season. He had to stay within the striking range of his weight cap. So now that he has moved back into the open bodybuilding, let's just hope that his motivation is all-time high, as the road to become huge again and compete with the mass monsters one more time. That begins now. And if we break down his physique, the man has one of the best looking quads out there. Even as an open competitor, he is very classic. I have to say, he looks more classic in the open division than he does in classic physique. He has that small waist, huge thick lats, wide shoulders, and he can hit a decent vacuum as well. So that is a very good news. And I am really looking forward to his return to the stage in the men's open bodybuilding again. Hunter Labrada is one of the most impressive looking guy in the offseason this year. So we have said this so many times. Weight is nothing but a number. But for his height, that 290 pounds mark, that too with such an unbelievably good condition, that is so impressive. That is as impressive as it gets. We all saw this past weekend how huge Hunter Labrada looked standing next to Samson Dauda in that post down at Detroit Pro. And if you can look that big next to Samson Dauda, you are the real deal. And yes, I know Samson Dauda just competed like 4 weeks ago, and Hunter Labrada is in the peak of his offseason, but still, he was looking bigger than Samson, and that is saying something. So Hunter 100% believes that he lost Texas Pro last year against Andrew Jacked because he started to fade. He wasn't able to control his midsection as well as Andrew. And if you guys remember, the judges made these guys go through 4 rounds of pausing because that's how close this was between these guys. And even Tyler Mannion also said that in the initial callouts, it seemed like that Hunter Labrada was going to win that show based on the first glance. And he lost because he did not have as much of a control over his midsection as Andrew Jacked. That is how much of an important factor it could become when it is so close between the top 2 guys. So rumor is that Chris Lewis, aka Psycho Fitness, he made Andrew pose in the sauna, especially during that prep. And that is why it seemed like he wasn't struggling at all, even when they were going through rounds and rounds of posing on the stage. So what is Hunter Labrada doing this time so that he doesn't face that same issue again? Well, first of all, he's practicing those vacuums at the peak point of his offseason every single day. And I have to say, every single thing about Hunter's physique, all of it went in the positive direction, especially in the last couple of years. And he just needs to have more detail on his midsection. And if he can do that, if he's able to accomplish that this year, he's gonna give a lot of people a serious run for their money at the Olympia in 2024. Ramon Dino's physique update is up next. So no more sitting back and enjoying vacations for the best from Brazil, especially after he lost the Arnold Classic title to Wesley Bezos, and by just 1 point. And don't get me wrong, Ramon still was in his superb condition at the Arnold Classic, but the thing is he just did not have the same amount of density, the same fullness to his muscles, the same fullness to his physique, the likes of which he showcased at the Olympia last year against Simon. Because the Olympia 2023, that was a really close battle between Ramon and Simon. So here at the Arnold, Wesley Bezos was spot on the stage. It was the best look of his entire career, and that is why the judges gave him the nod over Ramon Dino. So the main feedback that Ramon got from the judges was to get that density back, and that will only come if Ramon keeps on training from now all the way till the Olympia. Unlike the Arnold Classic, where he did an only 6 weeks of prep. And that was his biggest mistake, and he paid for it big time. Now I still believe no one should be sleeping on Ramon Dino, because so many people believe that Arnold Classic version of Ramon, even though that wasn't his best, but that was still good enough to place second, and that too just by 1 point. And so many people think that if Ramon showed up at the prejudging the same way he did for the finals, he would have won the Arnold for the second time in his career. So Ramon Dino is back to the drawing board. He's back to heavy training, and there shouldn't be any doubt in anyone's mind that he is coming back for redemption in October. So I really wish he had some more room to grow, so that we would see a new and improved physique. But still, he has been able to make some tremendous improvements, even with that weight cap. But that being said, he is still restricted by a weight cap, and he already has such a hard time making the weight. Tonio Burton with a physique update a little more than 4 weeks out of the New York Pro. So he is the winning champion at that show, but Nick Walker is coming to spoil that party. So Tonio Burton and Rafael Brandao had similar physiques at the Arnold Classic South America. And the more you listen to the experts, the more you realize that if that show was organized somewhere other than Brazil, Tonio Burton could have won that show. So Rafael Brandao has one of the best shapes out there. He's one of the most aesthetic guy in the men's open class. But so many people believe that he just wasn't on at that show. Tonio Burton on the other hand was so on, and he was so shredded, especially from the back. He was so dominant in the back shots. And that is why so many people believe that it should have gone in Tonio's favor. Well, that is now in the books. But the point here is that Rafael Brandao kept the door open in order for Tonio Burton to make an argument for his win. So it is going to be the first show of Nick Walker after 2023 Arnold Classic. And you bet he's going to be on. So Tonio and Nick Walker are entirely different physiques, unlike Tonio and Rafael. While Tonio Burton does have amazing symmetry, he does have superb shape. But Nick Walker is just a freaky mass monster. He's just more muscular, and his track record tells us that he is one of the most conditioned guy out there. His conditioning rivals the likes of Hadi Chopin, who is like the most conditioned guy in the men's open at the moment. So I hope there is a plan B for Tonio Burton, because this is already becoming a long prep for him. So it is more than likely that Tonio is going to do California Pro. That is just 1 week after the New York Pro. A show that he did last year as well, and he placed second, and he lost that show to Ross Patrick. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.